Have you ever looked around and wondered, is this it? Is this all I was made for? A routine that slowly kills the parts of me that once dreamed, once believed, once hoped. Malachi didn't know it, but today would be the last day he ever rode this train to work, the last day he pretended to be someone he wasn't. Some people break loudly, some break so quietly the world doesn't even notice, but heaven does. He wasn't just tired, he was lost, stuck in a life he didn't choose, building a dream that wasn't his. Something inside him snapped, not anger, not rage, something deeper. I realized I was dying in a life God never designed for me. And right there, in the middle of strangers and schedules and suffocating expectations, Malachi made a silent promise to himself. This is not where my story ends. I refuse to live small. He didn't know the cost. He didn't know the battle ahead. He only knew one thing. If he didn't leave now, he would never become the man God called him to be. They say this is the path, the only path. Go to school, get the grades, land the job, work 40 years, retire when the fire inside you has already burned out. We're raised to believe that dreams are hobbies. Passion is risky. Purpose is unreliable. Security is success. But what if security is the most subtle prison in the world? As children, we are limitless. We dream with no boundaries because the world hasn't taught us fear yet. But somewhere along the way, we stop dreaming and start surviving. We trade who we are for what the world applauds. Malachi followed the map they gave him. He checked every box, did everything right. And still, he felt wrong. Everyone pretends to be okay. But behind the suits and smiles are silent screams. People aren't burnt out from working. They're burnt out from not living. Gen Z is waking up, asking questions no generation ever dared to ask. Why should I sacrifice my life for a job that would replace me in a week? Why should I build a company's dream while my own dies inside me? If I'm made in God's image, why am I living like I'm powerless? He realized something terrifying. I wasn't scared of failing. I was scared of never trying. A seed of rebellion took root inside him, not rebellion against authority, rebellion against a small life. Purpose is a divine rebellion against everything trying to limit you. God placed seeds of greatness in him long before a paycheck existed, long before responsibility tried to mute his imagination. But the system teaches you to forget what God put in you. And Malachi began to remember. He felt it, a fire, not in his job, but in the idea of building something of his own. Entrepreneurs aren't born from confidence. They're born from conviction. Conviction that says, this life is too small for who I am becoming. He started dreaming again, late at night, typing business ideas at 2 a.m., watching videos on financial freedom, journaling prayers that scared him. What if I could make money and still honor God? What if my calling wasn't in the office, but in the impact I'm supposed to create? How to start a business with no money? How to hear God's voice? He wasn't just planning a business. He was planning his freedom, but freedom is expensive. It costs comfort. It costs approval. Sometimes it costs people you love. People fear what they don't understand, especially when it threatens the limits they settled for. I didn't blame them. They just couldn't see what God showed me. This is the war nobody talks about. Not between success and failure, but between calling and comfort. One asks you to jump, the other begs you to stay. The world says, what will you lose if you leave? God asks, what will you lose if you stay? He saw his own future, and it terrified him. There are prisons without bars, jobs without joy, lives without purpose, and the scariest cage is the one that looks responsible. For the first time in years, Malachi felt alive. Not because his life changed, but because he finally admitted it needed to. That's when the question hit him like lightning. If God gave me a calling, why am I spending my life running from it? Most people never escape the system, not because they can't, but because leaving requires a courage they've never been taught. The courage to disappoint others so you don't disappoint God. The courage to risk failure to experience purpose. The courage to step out of the boat and onto the water. Every revolution begins with a single step. This was Malachi's first step toward becoming the man he was created to be. Not an employee, not a number, not a replaceable part of the machine, but a builder, a leader, a kingdom entrepreneur called to create, not comply. The system had his time. Now, his calling wanted it back. There's a point in every battle where the greatest war isn't around you. It's inside you. The doubts, the fears, the voice that says you're not enough, you're too late, you already failed. And Malachi, he heard every one of those lies. The opportunities he turned down. The dreams he told himself were unrealistic. The prayers he stopped praying. The fire he let go out. God, did I miss it? Did I mess up so badly that there's no way back? Silence, but a heavy, holy kind of silence. He'd been running so fast. He hadn't stopped to realize you can run from a job, you can run from a city, but you cannot outrun your own calling. God won't let you, not because he wants to trap you, but because he chose you on purpose. Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you. Plans. You still have plans for me? A breath escapes him, half sob, half relief, a flicker of hope. But hope doesn't erase fear, it illuminates it. When God calls you to rise, your insecurities will rise too. Your excuses will rise too. Your enemies will rise too. Because your destiny isn't easy, it's essential. The voice of fear and the voice of God. You can't leave. You'll lose everything. No one will support you. You'll fail. I will go before you. I will make the crooked path straight. Do not fear, for I am with you. Every destiny has a gate. Every gate has a giant. But every giant has a weakness. And what conquers giants is not skill, not money, not status. It's obedience. Malachi gets angry, the good kind. He writes a letter of resignation. His hand shakes. He stops halfway. The camera freezes on the pen tip hovering above the page. God, if I do this, you have to come through. And heaven responds, not with thunder, not with a miracle, but with a conviction, I already did. Here's the truth, you don't need the whole staircase. You just need the courage for the next step. But courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is choosing faith in spite of fear. There are moments where your old life tries to pull you back harder than ever, because the enemy knows. Once you step out, you'll never fit in the cage again. Malachi finally answers. You're behind on deadlines. You better be ready tomorrow. We're counting on you. I won't be coming back. Silence. You're throwing away your future. No, I'm finally choosing it. And just like that, the door that caged him closed. So the door God prepared could finally open. Because destiny won't drag you. It waits for your yes. And Malachi just gave his. Malachi gets angry, the good kind. He writes a letter of resignation. His hand shakes. He stops halfway. The camera freezes on the pen tip hovering above the page. God, if I do this, you have to come through. And heaven responds, not with thunder, not with a miracle, but with a conviction, I already did. Here's the truth. You don't need the whole staircase. You just need the courage for the next step. But courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is choosing faith in spite of fear. There are moments where your old life tries to pull you back harder than ever, because the enemy knows. Once you step out, you'll never fit in the cage again. Malachi finally answers. You're behind on deadlines. You better be ready tomorrow. We're counting on you. I won't be coming back. Silence. You're throwing away your future. No, I'm finally choosing it. And just like that, the door that caged him closed. So the door God prepared could finally open. Because destiny won't drag you. It waits for your yes. And Malachi just gave his. Everyone talks about stepping out in faith. But almost no one talks about the day after. The day when the excitement fades and reality knocks. When you realize obedience is beautiful, but it's also brutally uncomfortable. God, I said yes, but everything still looks the same because faith isn't a teleportation device. It's a journey. And every journey has a wilderness, a place where God prepares you so you can carry the weight of what's coming. You left a good job for this? What's your plan? That's not realistic. I trusted you. Why does it feel like you disappeared? Because the silence you feel is not abandonment, it's development. God isn't ignoring you, He's equipping you. He's strengthening the parts of you you didn't even know were weak, you see. When God increases your calling, He increases your character first. He teaches you to serve before He unveils the stage. Lord, if you gave me this desire, teach me how to walk in it. Tears reflect the city lights, like tiny reflections of hope. Sometimes God removes your safety net, so you'll realize He was the safety all along. He doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. And right now, He's qualifying Malachi. The wilderness isn't punishment, it's preparation. David fought lions in private before he stood in front of Goliath. Joseph led a prison before he ruled a nation. Even Jesus went into the wilderness before He stepped into His ministry. So who are we to expect a crown without ever carrying a cross? When God gives you a calling, He also gives you a burden. Not the kind that crushes you, the kind that pushes you forward. And even when doors don't open yet, He's teaching you how to build your own. God, make it easy. It becomes, God, make me ready. Because destiny doesn't start when the world sees you. Destiny starts when you choose to keep going, even unseen, even uncomfortable, even uncertain. That's where faith grows. In the wilderness, breakthrough rarely shows up when you feel strong. It comes on the days you feel weakest, but refuse to quit. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew who I was becoming. That's the secret no one talks about. Success doesn't start when everyone believes in you. It starts when you believe in the version of you that nobody else can see yet. You helped me. I needed this today. Bro, don't stop. The small sparks become fuel. God hides greatness until greatness is ready. He doesn't give you influence first. He gives you impact. Lord, even if no one sees it yet, you do. So I'll keep going. Your message needs a bigger platform. Let's meet. Malachi's eyes widen, disbelief and awe. And just like that, a door no man could open opens. Not because Malachi forced it, not because he was lucky, but because he was faithful with little. Breakthrough doesn't happen by accident. It happens because God watches how you handle the waiting. If you can praise Him when nothing makes sense, you can be trusted when everything makes sense. You have something special. This isn't just content. This is calling Malachi tries not to cry. holds back the emotion. He didn't just get an opportunity, he got confirmation. Everything he went through suddenly made sense. The wilderness wasn't a delay, it was direction. God didn't say no. He said, "Not like that." Watch me. Thank you, God. When God opens a door, even your enemies have to stand aside and watch you walk through it. Success is a spotlight. It doesn't just shine on the gift, it exposes the wounds. When God elevates you, the enemy targets you. I'm trying my best. Is it still not enough? Pressure isn't proof you're failing. Pressure is proof you're called. Giants don't attack nobodies. Influence is expensive, and the price is your comfort. The higher God takes you, the more sacrifices he asks for. More discipline, more prayer, more surrender. Tone down the God stuff. Make it more marketable silence. No, firm, unshaken. Temptation doesn't always look evil. Sometimes it looks like a shortcut. Lord, keep me yours, no matter how high I rise. Because success earned without God isn't success. It's slavery in disguise. Malachi finally understands. He's not building a platform. He's building a kingdom. All the fear, all the failures, all the nights he wanted to give up, they weren't setbacks, they were setups for this moment. I'm here because God refused to let me quit. I'm here because he saw a lion in the places I only saw fear. And he'll do the same for you. Hands lift in the crowd, souls breaking open, hope flooding in. This is what obedience leads to. Influence that heals, purpose that multiplies, impact that echoes through eternity. A team. I was going to give up. Your video saved me. A woman. Your prayer gave me hope again. A man. I found God through your journey. Malachi cried, overwhelmed by what God has done. He left a job that drained him to step into a calling that revives others. Sometimes God forces you to let go of good, to make room for greater, not comfort, not applause, not fame, freedom, faith, purpose. Your breakthrough isn't waiting on a miracle, it's waiting on your yes. Step out, believe again, and watch God turn your breaking point into the day everything changes.